Good evening, race fans. We are back live on another Wednesday night American Sim Racing League race here tonight at Kansas. It's the Rim Rider 150. I love this series, love calling this series. It's always a lot of good action. Brian Dees was able to capitalize on some fuel strategy last week. Picked up the win when him and Mr. Sam in the 53 were the most dominant cars. And the 17 ended up prevailing. Saved just enough fuel to get out, get a good lead, and it paid off at the end. I'm joined tonight by my good buddy, Mr. Jason Raymond. Jason, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Well, actually, I can't say another broadcast. I've never called this series, so it's going to be different for me. Never called an ARCA race before, so looking forward to that aspect.
Mic check.
These races are always really clean and really good. Now, I realize I made a mistake. I have the voice chat on.
Maybe.
Mark was talking to me, getting me all flustered, had me all messed up. Fix that real quick. It gets smaller again. Jason, if you could, turn your mic up just a little bit.
I just turned it up a little bit, so hopefully that's better, but not too loud. So let me know if I got to adjust it again. Still trying to work out the settings for this new headset. As we are right now looking at the 51 of Joshua Sexton. We're still in practice, I believe. Let me look. As we got to look at the schedule right here. Let me pull it up on my end. So obviously tonight is Kansas for 150 laps. Stage will be at lap 50. Next week though, go to the short track where tempers will flare. 200 laps around Martinsville Speedway with the stage at 75. Then after that, biggest track on the NASCAR circuit, Talladega Super Speedway for 80 laps, followed by Nashville Super Speedway, which I don't call a super speedway. It's a mile and a half to me, but whatever. They classify that as a super speedway, 150 laps.
That's going to be an interesting race there. But, I mean, I live near Nashville, right? And it bugs me to no end when people call that a super speedway. And they just do it because the Music City Motorplex, Nashville Fairgrounds. So they do that to differentiate them just a little bit. But, man, I see a track like Iowa. That's going to be the last race of the regular season before the playoffs. And then look right there in the playoffs, folks. Charlotte Roval, right in the middle, squeezed in the middle, a 3-race playoffs, Auto Club Speedway. Then they go to Charlotte Roval. That is a make or break type race right there for an entire season. So if you're not accustomed to putting these stock cars on a road course like that, you could really, really hurt your whole entire seasons. We're actually seeing the 31 car go off on the grass just a little bit right there, as we are currently awaiting qualifying to begin. Hope everybody's having a good night. This little midweek broadcast, the American Sim Racing League. Love calling this series. It's a fun one each and every week. Excited to see some new faces out here too. I see we got Jamie Walker at the top of the board right now. Jamie Walker, he's a fixture on Sunday night in the Blazing Pedals iRacing League, and a fixture he is because he's typically a fixture up towards the front in his 88 machine. He's shown as being in a 388 tonight, so he does not have him a number set just yet. But I think tonight is going to be a good one, as it's showing me the Butcher is in a Nesquik car, so not exactly sure what's going on with that. And I'm looking for Sam Baumgarten right now and not seeing him either, so Samuel may not be able to race tonight. That's a tough one because he had such a strong run last week.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't here for that, but I've raced in this series before, and I know it's a lot of competition, a lot of heavy hitters in here, very fast. So I mean, I can only imagine how good of a race it was.
It was. It came down to some fuel strategy, as we actually are into qualifying right now. I'm working to get the chat pulled up so we can talk with you fine folks. We got Joshua Rutherford in the 64 machine right now out on track.
And they have 2 laps of qualifying here today, so let's see. I'm not sure what preferred line is here. I'm assuming, I heard people talking about, I'm assuming it's the top, so that's something to watch for. Is usually you're used to seeing the bottom lane prevail, but top is
I think
apparently the place to be.
I think with qualifying, I still think they'll line up on the bottom. I mean, they'll want to be on the bottom for that second lap around. But with it being Kansas, this place is famous for multiple racing lines, and what that means is you can be fast on the bottom, you can be fast in the middle, or you can be fast on the top. I think as the race starts to go and as the tires start to wear, I think without a doubt we'll see people migrate up to the top in order to defend their position and also to try to make a pass.
As we're seeing the 64, Joshua Rutherford cut way down to that apron down through the tri-oval. That allows you to kind of cut the track. It picks up some time, but I mean, I'm gonna assume you have to be kind of careful as he's a little loose and taps the wall with the rear end right there coming out of turn 2. But I just want to say I have to assume going down on the apron, it's gonna get a little loose with a transition from the banking to the flat.
Absolutely. We have last season's champion, Dalton Kilroe from Florida, went top of the board, but it did not stick because Sheldon Fatigue in the 310 just knocked him off, and he has his SDK all type of funny. How are you now? Kill deer, hit the pace car. I bet he's a character in real life. As Dalton Kilroe says, wait, you got the Busch car, but hold my beer, as he goes back top of the board in the 41 machine.
And he's showing why he's last season champion, putting at the top of the board right now. And obviously, I mean, qualifying's not over, but there's I don't know what a good lap here is. So I'm gonna go along with it as we see Taylor, Butcher, Benjamin jump up to P3 on the board.
The Butcher out here in a new wrap. Got a Nesquik machine. This may be a problem with trading paints, or he may have just finally changed his paint. If he stays within the top 3, we may have a quick word with him. As we're actually going to pull Dalton Kilroe up as he is currently sitting on the top spot, post spot. We'll have a quick little word with him before these drivers hit to the grid. Dalton Kilroe, Tanner Marr in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So you just went top of the board, Dalton, with a 31-37. Now, you know there's some heavy hitters still out here, as we see Amanda Sherman, Aaron Backover, John Perkins. They all 3 are hitting the track right now. You missed last week. You were last season's champion. What's it going to take to try to climb out of the hole that you had last week, but missing that race?
Oh, I'm definitely going to be just trying to focus on consistency. Tonight, it's going to be just staying out of the wall and managing the tire wear, and hopefully should be able to do that all right. I don't think that lap's going to hold up as well as some people might think it is, just because, again, like you said, we got some heavy hitters. We got Jamie Walker in here, we got Backover, we got Perkins, got Corey Sherman. You know, we got a lot of really fast guys that haven't turned a lap yet. So I'm thinking, if anything, that lap's probably going to be good for maybe, I'd hope a top 5, but I'd say maybe top 3 if I'm lucky.
Dalton, we'll be calling the action up here, buddy. Me and Jason Raymond. Good luck to you. Maybe we'll be talking to you at the end, buddy.
Thank you.
That was Dalton Kilroe. He's currently holding down the top of the board spot. As we're going to pull down Sheldon Fatigue. And I'm going to let you have the honors on this one, Mr. Jason Ramon.
Sheldon, this is Jason and Tanner up in the 5 Kings booth. You got a copy?
Uh-oh, might be gunshot on us. Sheldon, you got a copy? Alrighty, folks. Welcome to the land of the unknown. We never know if somebody's actually going to be there or not, so we'll get him back up to his race chat, and maybe if he sends me a message or something, says he's ready to rock and roll, we'll have a word with him then. Has Brian Dees took a lap yet? Dees
He has not
taken a lap. We got John K out here in the 315. Jimmy Johnson's looking machine just went to 14th on the board with a 32-17. Gonna look to get a little bit faster the second time around the Kansas Motor Speedway. Want to thank y'all again for tuning in. If you could, slap that like button on the YouTube video. Helps the channel out a ton. And we're also on the road to 100 subscribers right now. We're at 83, so we're slowly but surely climbing up that mountain. So if you could, join the team. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. It helps out a ton. Thank you.
As we see, John K jumps up to P5 on the board of that second lap there.
Looking really strong in that Jimmy Johnson's machine. And now speaking of Jimmy Johnson, if there's anybody that follows real life NASCAR, Jimmy Johnson is one of the 5 drivers that are tied for the most wins at Kansas since it first started hosting NASCAR events. It's Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Joe Logano. They're all tied for the most wins at Kansas, and that's with 3 wins apiece. So maybe he can take his Jimmy Johnson clone-looking machine and maybe make it a race win for him tonight. That's John K. and the Chevy 315.
It seems the track's kind of quiet right now.
It is. It's very quiet. People are finishing up their lap. You see Philip Van Fleet just finished up his lap. That was good enough to put him up to P10 with a 31.51. As I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers went on the board with a 31.51. So if you don't think the pace in this series is right there, almost on top of each other, then you're madly mistaken. And usually, when you get races that have 20 drivers out there that are all about the same speed, that typically means the race could possibly be messy, but not here. I mean, they go flag to flag, no cautions. But now there is a lap 50 stage break. There's only 1 stage caution, but bonus points are awarded just like they are in NASCAR. And like we showed a while ago with the schedule, that 3-race playoff system, you want all the bonus points you can get in this regular season. So when it gets to be about lap 40, the action, the intensity, it all starts to ramp up pretty quickly because you got drivers shuffling, trying to get their way to the front to get the most points possible they can for the lap 50 stage break caution.
How many people get stage points? Unless you said that already, and I'm just clueless. I don't know.
I am not 100% sure. We call so many races that it's hard for me to keep track of everything, but we are now joined by the series owner and series promoter, head guy in charge, Rick Thompson, Tanner Martin Booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Tanner.
So, Rick, we were just kind of going over your lap 50 stage caution. If you would, we call so many races, so I'll be honest, Rick, a lot of the rules kind of just run together, especially when we're new colonies, like a new series like this. How are the stage points offered in this series, American Sim Racing League?
So at the end of the stage, basically, the first stage, the only stage tonight will be on lap 50. So at the completion of lap 50, coming to lap 51, the yellow will fly, and then the top 5 drivers at the end of the stage will get bonus points based on how they finish that stage. So first place will get 5 bonus points, down 4, and then 5th will get 1 bonus point.
That makes it interesting. I was just telling Jason that even last week, I mean, 5 bonus points does not sound like a lot, but I promise you, when you have a playoff system like what you have here, Rick, the intensity ramps up quite a bit when you get to like lap 40, lap 45, because people want to get up there and get in that top 5. Rick, I see that you have you qualified yet? I'm trying to find your...
I did, but I didn't do so great tonight.
Honest to God, I wasn't used to looking so far down for you. So yeah,
I know.
Currently sitting 14th right now, Rick. Still not bad. I mean, not bad at all. We have Jamie Walker hitting the track right now. What do you think you need to do to get that 76 machine up towards the front where it deserves to be?
Well, I think I might have to try some pit strategy tonight, work that stage caution as best I can, and try to work through the field. It's going to be tough to pass. Everybody's probably going to be up near the top of the line, but the good thing about these Mark Arthur setups is you can run the bottom and the middle, but you're just going to have to change your entry and exit points and all that stuff. So I think it'll be a good race, though. I think everybody's going to be competitive tonight. It's going to be fun to watch, hopefully.
All righty, Rick. We'll be up here calling the action. One more question before I let you go down to the grid. Y'all have 3 total sets of tires tonight, correct?
Correct. You got two. You got the set you start with, and then you got two sets in the pits that you can use whenever you want.
Alrighty, folks, that's Rick Thompson, driver number 76, one of the men behind the curtain that puts us to his own. Rick will be calling action. Good luck to you, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Tanner.
Alrighty, folks, it is now time to hit the grid. I'm super excited for tonight. I hope you are as well, as we're going to go through this race grid. Dalton Kilrow, we spoke to him earlier from Five Kings Motorsports, driver number 41, last season's champion. He did not think a 31.374 would hold up, but lo and behold, it did. He is firing off in the pole spot. And then starting to his outside from Beef Jerky Unlimited, Sheldon Fatigue. Starting in P3 is Taylor, the Butcher Benjamin, with Joshua Sexton starting to his outside P4, outside row number 2. And then John K, we saw him in that Jimmy Johnson's expired Lowe's machine. He'll be rolling off in P5.
Starting in the 6th position, outside of row number 3, we got TNA Motorsports driver Corey Sherman. Starting 7th position, we got Joshua Rutherford in that 64 machine. Outside him, P8, John Perkins from Speed Mafia. 9th place, 55 machine of Paul Ellison. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, another TNA Motorsports driver the number 44, Aaron Bockover.
And then, starting to the inside row number 6, you got Mr. Philip Van Fleet from Lone Dutchman Racing, sporting a number 89 Mopar machine. He'll be starting P11. Ford Rutherford, it's the Rutherford brothers from Work in Progress Racing. Joshua got a little bit better of a starting position than Corey. Corey's going to be firing off in the 12th place spot. And then we have last week's winner, the Soul Stealer, Mr. Brian Dees in the 17 S&M Motorsports machine. He'll be firing off in 13th. With Rick Thompson, we just heard from him. Didn't get a good qualifying lap put down. It ain't going to matter, though. As soon as the green flag flies, he'll be starting 14th with Amanda Sherman 15th. Alan McEwen is 16th. Alan Castle is 17th. Matthew Eden's going to be firing off in the 18th spot. Jamie Walker, he was 12 seconds slower, so that shows me that he probably didn't even care about putting down a lap. He'll be firing off in 19th with Brad Collins and Christopher Stone playing shotgun to the field. I want to thank y'all for tuning in as we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
As I think we are 1 to green now, I believe there's only one pace lap, so we're going to see, I believe the first starts on green here, so pretty even, just no jumps for anybody, but Dalton Kilroy will be the guy leading them to the green as green flag is out. Pretty even start.
I noticed a gap between the second row on the outside. Joshua Sexton was not up on Sheldon right then. And it looks like the 10 machine of Taylor the Butcher Benjamin going to take off and get the second place spot from when they gridded. And you look, Dalton Kilroy is not even in the picture right now. Is he already setting sail? Got a great launch and a great jump out of turn 2. And man, oh man, that Daddy-O's machine is hooked up on the high side.
Yeah, I mean, I heard him talking earlier that the outside is kind of naturally the place to be. And like you said, it looks like he's hooked up. He is, he's not setting sail necessarily. There's about a car and a half length gap between him and second, but I mean the top 3 are all right there. They're kind of trying to set sail on the 4th place position.
The 4th place spot, we got Joshua Sexton. He's currently running where he started. In 5th place, it's the Savage Edge Bitcoin machine. Got a line of cars right there behind him. And at number 3, that's Corey Sherman. John Perkins is right there on his back bumper. Aaron Bockover in the 44 Busch beer machine. He is currently sitting in the 7th place spot. Aaron Bockover's already gained 3 spots from where he gridded. And I want to touch on John K. must have not got a good or a good start right then. Wasn't able to get the momentum built. He is currently down 4 spots from where he gridded. He's running 9th and he started 5th.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe missed a shift, like you said, or just kind of taking it easy. But we'll keep an eye on that aspect as we see the 55. Like I said earlier, all the way down to that apron, and that's, I mean, it allows you to cut the track, but you could get loose potentially. And also, the guy on the outside, I don't know if it's a rule in here. I'm assuming he doesn't have to let you back up, so it's
He
kind
does
of
not.
I mean, it's a reward because you cut the track, but it's also a risk.
Absolutely. It's very dangerous going down there, especially when the tires start to wear. Because, like Jason has said, as we're going to see if maybe he does it this time. He's not going to do it this time, I'm sure. Of course not. But there is a transition from the racetrack to the banking right there, and these ARCA cars tend to be on the looser side as is. So I mean, you couple that with the fact that you're upsetting the chassis going from a banked surface to an unbanked surface at speeds of what do you think, 160, 170 miles per hour. I mean, you do the math on the rest of it. It's pretty easy to figure out that bad things can happen. As the 41 is now out to a 7/10 a second lead over our second place runner, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, right now. But I know how Taylor is. Taylor's back there playing big picture probably right now. He fires off, and from lap one till about 80% into the race, he's just saving tires.
Yeah, I mean that's smart. You only have 3 sets, 150 laps, so I mean that's plenty of tire. But if you're more aggressive, I mean it could be harder to stretch out the pitting strategy here and save those tires until you need them.
So we talked about how they got 3 sets of tires for 150 laps. Man, it don't take a genius to see that's 50 laps a set, right? But we're racers at heart. We all want to stretch out that set and have the freshest set possible at the end of the race. So you're going to see drivers go longer than 50 laps. And while I bring that up is you can go between 26 to 28 laps on fuel without saving here tonight. So if you was to want to pit around lap 50 to take your set, that's going to be right there within your pit window. A little short of it actually, but close enough where it shouldn't matter too much. So you will see strategy come into play, especially with that lap 50 stage break. I mean, I love that they implemented that because it splits this race up into two halves. So you got the first half, that's 50 laps, and then although the second half of the race is a little bit longer, it's double the length, it's 100 laps, it really does start to get spicy. As I want to give an update to Jamie Walker. He elected to not put down a decent qualifying lap in that Speed 388 machine. It's pink, it's bright, you can't miss it, folks, and he's up 8 spots as we speak.
Yeah, he's not saving tires. He's on the move right now. As you see, he's behind 3 cars here, but I'm not sure if maybe he's. I was gonna say maybe he's just riding there now since he gained some positions, but that's definitely doesn't look like the case. As he's trying to put the pressure on that 17 of Brian D's.
Jamie on Sunday is really smart when it comes to tire wear and really smart about fuel. It seems like he can be a second faster than most of the field and still have better tires when everybody goes pits. I don't know how he does it. He's an alien, and I have a feeling we're going to see that 388 up front at some point. As you look, he may put it 3 wide right here as Brian Dees is actually going to come down and close the door. I don't think Jamie would have went 3 wide right there. You see the Grinch 55 machine up there. That's a good looking paint scheme.
Yeah, it's the best color there is, bright green. That stands
Makes
out.
me want to puke.
He's looking pretty good right now. He's sitting in. Where is he sitting? I look P9. So I mean, he's still a top 10. He started ninth. He started ninth. He's running ninth. He didn't move. He's consistent.
Yeah,
he's getting some pressure from the 76 right now on the outside.
He's trying to make a pass over this 17 of Brian Dees, and you see him really work that apron, trying to cut the radius of the track as much as he can. But like Jason mentioned a while ago, when it gets later in this race or when it gets around the stage break time, if a car elects to go down there and there's a guy on your outside, there's nothing in the rule book, in the etiquette, I guess, maybe, but there's nothing in the rule book that states you got to let that driver back up. So I almost would put $1 million down that we will see somebody get held down there tonight. I've had it happen to me. I've done it to people. And sometimes you do it without even realizing you're doing it. But there's so much talent in this field. They know what they have to do in order to get the best finish possible. As man, oh man, the 17 and 388 are duking it out right now. 17 gets all the momentum on the high side on exit. But the 388 makes it all back up when they get to the entry of the corner.
I didn't want to cut you off there as you were talking. A 64 hit the wall coming out of turn 4 right there, and I'm pretty sure he saved it, but got a little loose on him after he hit the wall. He lost a lot of ground.
64, Joshua Rutherford got Brad Collins right there lurking behind, but yeah, he lost 10 spots from where he gridded. Started in the 7th place spot. He's currently shown as the 17th, and he's into the wall again. And now,
He
folks,
stuck to it.
something about these ARCA cars that drives me absolutely nuts. Look at this car. He can't get it off the wall. It will not come off the wall. These cars are terrible, terrible about getting suction cup to the wall. And, I mean, we just saw that. He rode that wall for, what, 500 feet maybe?
Almost the entire length of turn 1 and 2.
Right.
Yeah, it's like they got a big magnet and the wall is just attracting them. That is one thing that gets annoying, and one thing to watch out for is if there's a driver that gets stuck to the wall, obviously you're not just gonna pull it off right away right into the field, but it could. I mean, I can't say you're not going to. Some people would. These guys won't, but it's definitely something to watch for because that wall is definitely not friendly.
As Dalton Kilrose opened it up to almost a 1.5 lead over our second place Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Dalton won, I think, 9 races last season out of 14, I do believe. So Dalton has something figured out in these ARCA cars. But like you mentioned a while ago, is he asking too much out of his equipment right now? We got to ask that question whenever we see somebody jump out so far ahead of second place. Will the Butcher be able to bring him back to him? We'll just have to wait and see as we're coming to lap number 17 now. Stage breaks coming in about 30 or so laps, folks.
I didn't want to cut you off again there. I saw heard some radio chatter. I think Sheldon got into the wall a little bit.
He did. He's went backwards as well. He was running 3rd behind Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, and he's falling back all the way to P11 now. So let's see if we can dial him up on the right side of his car. That's the left side. Maybe we'll click the right button.
As you attempt to figure that out, after we see here, he had some left rear bumper damage. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe when he got into the wall, Joshua Sexton hit him with the right front. That's something to keep an eye on too. As he's looks like he's loose. I'm not sure if that's just the way this car looks, but it looked like he was kind of. It looks weird.
Now the car is skewed out a little bit. Just naturally. It looks like the body's twisting, but no, he is definitely loose. So let's go up to Joshua Sexton and see if he has front end damage. Like I would have to assume he will.
Doesn't look like he does, so I'm kind of wondering where that left rear bumper damage came from, as he's right up on that wall.
Maybe John Perkins? Somebody got into him. I mean, I'm not seeing nothing.
Maybe it could have been a netcode deal where he got the damage, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if maybe it was just, maybe netcode, a glitch.
I'm not sure as we're looking back to the Dodge Charger Mopar machine by Philip Van Fleet. Looking really nice right now. He's currently shown in the P7 spot.
I like that the number 3 car behind him. That thing is nice and bright. You will definitely never miss that.
That's the Shermanator. It's almost a spin of the old Wrangler car from Dale Earnhardt. Got its own little spin on it though. Sherman puts its own little twist on it. And then his wife is also racing out here, Amanda Sherman, and she has her own spin on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s DEI Budweiser 8 car.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed that about them. They like to do the Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. type paint scheme, type design. And, I mean, they're both really good looking cars.
Right. I'm going to have to give the edge to Amanda, though, on this one. I don't know, it's just something about that Savage Edge machine I really like. And, you know, I see the MF on the quarter panel right there, so that means only one thing. Michael Falk Racing Designs, MF Racing Designs, put that car together, and my oh my, it is sweet. And also, I want to just put it out there, too, that I know y'all have heard us mention Savage Edge, especially when we give race interviews. That is Amanda Sherman and Corey Sherman are the owners of Savage Edge Apparel. They can get you basically any type of apparel or accessory you need. If you need a shirt made, if you need a hoodie made, if you need a drink koozie made, anything. That's Savage Edge Apparel on Facebook.com.
As Mark Arthur's in the YouTube chat says, Jamie's up to 6th already, LOL.
Yeah, Mark,
And
he elected to.
indeed.
Oh, we're going to have contact
Oh.
between the 33 and Joshua Sexton. 33 is going to get the rough end of the deal. We're going to have to go back, folks, to see what happened here.
Great save by both those
I
drivers.
typically don't do this in the middle of the race, but there's going to be no caution. It looked like Josh may have got loose in front of him.
He was in the wall and pulled it off.
Oh. And then nowhere to go for Perkins.
The worst thing, not worse, but I mean, one thing is they didn't actually make contact. That's where that netcode factor comes into play. It's, we're all sitting in our bedrooms, we're not actually out on track, obviously. So we're sitting in our bedrooms, and it's just the internet connections differences from each other.
Don't look now, but Jamie Walker, the 388 speed energy machine, he's worked his way up to P3. He's up 16 spots. One man's misfortune was another man's gift right then, as Joshua Sexton and John Perkins both had a little mishap, we'll call it. No caution. And that allowed Jamie Walker to get up in a third place spot. We're going to go cockpit cam with Jamie as he's going down the backstretch. And the whole reason why I do this is, you see that little yellow car way up there? That's Taylor the Butcher Benjamin in second. And then a little bit further ahead of that, that's Dalton in first. If this thing stays green till the stage break at lap 50, we're going to come back to this shot. We're going to do a little eye test and see if maybe Jamie can drive those two down. As we actually now have action on pit road. Rick Thompson is down. Corey Sherman is down. John Kay is down. There's a lot of people down. Whoa. Corey Rutherford, John Perkins, Alan McEwen. I like that 14 machine too. The spin-off of Days of Thunder. I'm more of a Rowdy Burns type guy, though, to be honest.
I've only seen that movie once.
As Jason, I didn't even realize it. Our race leader has fallen back to Taylor. He had almost a second lead as Brian Dees and Joshua Sexton hit pit road now. But Dalton had almost a second lead. A second and a half lead it was over our second place runner, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. And it's now underneath half a second. So either Dalton did, in fact, burn his stuff up, or Taylor just saved his stuff really good.
As Taylor is coming down pit road right there, as we just saw him, both of them are coming down pit road.
There's teammates working together right there. That's going to surrender the lead to the 388. I'm going to call him the 88 for the rest of the night because the 3 is weird. I'm so used to calling Jamie the 88. So anytime, folks, you hear me say the 88, I am talking about Jamie Walker, but we do have another 88 out here. But still, surrendered the lead to Jamie Walker. When's he going to pull that Charger down pit road to fill it up with Sunoco racing fuel? Sheldon Fatigues on pit road. Joshua Rutherford. I look for Jamie to come pretty quick. We know the fuel window was 26 28 laps, and they are now on lap 28. And he is coming down pit road. Philip Van Fleet's coming. Aaron Bockover's coming. Paul Ellison's coming. Amanda Sherman's coming. The 31 said, hold my beer. I'm going around another lap. Alan Castle to the race lead. Just got him a lap led with Matthew Edens in the 88 behind him. But it's really Joshua Sexton right there behind him, who is actually a lap down right now. But he should be able to get back on the lead lap when it does finally recycle.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, once it does recycle, if Dalton and Taylor made the right move and are going to gain time, or if they're going to lose time. I'm going to assume they're going to gain time because they're together.
They should gain a little bit of time. And they had to add a little bit less fuel in the car. 1 lap less fuel. Now, that may not make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things, but it might. As Mark Arthur also said in the chat, that, yeah, the right rear does stick out in these cars pretty bad. They're really skewed. So, before we went to pit road with Dalton and Taylor, Jamie was behind our leaders by about 5 seconds almost. So we're going to go cockpit cam. Folks, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that yellow car looks a little bit bigger out the windshield. Jamie Walker is coming. He's having to fight that car, though. He's wrestling that wheel. Did you see that right there, Jason?
I did. I saw the little counter steer coming out of 2 right there, but I'm not sure. Is oversteer and overcorrection bad with these cars? Because I know there's some cars on the service that if you turn the wheel too much trying to save it, it's not gonna be pretty.
You can definitely overcorrect these cars, but like I said, these cars are naturally loose. And when Mark builds the set, now Mark's in the chat, he can actually chime in on this, or he can come into the broadcast booth and really chime in on the setup part. But when Mark builds these sets, he tries to build them, as we see the 88 really get loose right there. But he tries to build them to be neutral everywhere, where they can drive on the bottom, they can drive in the middle, they can drive up top. And he does a good job of making them, and I don't want to sound like a bad guy when I say this, but he does a good job to where not only can the fast guys drive it, the people that's on here every night racing, but then you got other people that just race this for a hobby. They can get on here and run his setups and do just fine. To be fast, you got to be a little bit loose. I mean, you got to find that ragged edge and try not to overstep it. And it just seems like with Mark Arthur's sets, when he makes these fixed sets for these leagues, you can always walk it to that ragged edge. And now you can't overstep it at times, but majority of the time, it's usually perfect. And that's what it's looking like right now. Just loose enough where these guys can run wherever they want without really spinning out.
Yeah, that's a. I like how you said that even the guys that get on here just for fun can drive them, because it's true. There's obviously the people that, like you said, get on here every night and do this quite often, and then there's guys that just, you know, come home from work, want to hop on and have some fun. As we see Jamie Walker is basically drifting that car off of every corner.
And at some point, that right rear is going to have enough. You got to be careful. You're playing Russian roulette when you keep burning that right rear up. And I mean, that's what he's doing. That car's really leaned over, and it's just making him actually get loose and have to put a lot more will into it to save the car and catch it. Will that be a factor? As now he's about 2.5 seconds behind our second place runner of Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Let's go through the lineup real quick. It's still Dalton Kilroy out front as we come to lap number 35. The Butcher is currently sitting in P2. Jamie Walker up 16 spots from when they gridded. He's sitting in P3 with Rick Thompson. Not to be outdone too much by Jamie Walker. He's currently up 10 spots, currently in the 4th place spot. And then last week's winner, we see him making a pass over the 89 of Philip Van Fleet. He has worked his way up into the P5 position. That's the Soul Stealer, Brian Dees. I love that car too. I mean, absolutely. The detail in this car is out of this world. Like, it's hard to really even do it justice just looking at it. One side's Avengers, one side is X-Men. You bunch them together and it's just one beautiful paint scheme.
And you know who did that paint scheme?
You tell me.
None other than Michael Falk over at MF Racing Designs, once again, throwing together another awesome and beautiful looking paint scheme.
You are right, my sir. As Scotty Stevens in the chat says, these dudes slow. Scotty Stevens throwing a little bit of shade in the chat. We always like to see it.
As we see, I'm not sure if. Okay, I thought the lapped car was the Butcher. I was like, there's no gap anymore. But Dalton Kilroy's up to a almost 2-second lead now.
Got a really comfortable lead, and you got to be careful though trying to manage this lap traffic. You would think a track like Kansas, lap traffic would not play too big of a factor, but it is. We're seeing it right now. Had to get by the 31, and I think that is the 88 of Matthew Edens up in front of him. I might stand to be corrected on that. But what I'm getting at is Dalton's been out front all race, so he's not had to deal with any type of dirty air whatsoever. That's not the 88 either. I think that was a 55. We saw him have a little bit of trouble earlier, Paul Ellison. But Dalton's been up front the whole time. Nothing but clean air on that nose of the 41. He now is starting to see what it feels like to be in dirty air. As he gets right up there to the 55's bumper, may shoot the gap 3 wide. He thinks better of it and backs off just a little bit. A 2-second lead. When you know the stage caution coming in about 12 laps, it's not worth the risk. You see the 64 actually get a little loose. The 64 is actually Joshua Rutherford. I stand corrected again. I'll eventually get it right, folks.
Scotty Stevens in chat is asking what a fuel run is. Fuel, they can go about 24 to 26 laps. So they've already all pit once for fuel.
Now I gotta ask this question. Dalton's out to about almost a 2-second lead, like you said. They went to Dalton pitted on lap 27, so he should be good to make it to the lap 50 stage break. But I'm looking at somebody like Rick Thompson. He went 25 laps, and now I'm sure he can make it to the 50 break. But, as you know, they pace for like 2 laps before they can come down pit road. He might be cutting it really close with that 76 machine on fuel.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even think of that. I forget that they pace about 2 laps. He's on the wall. He pulled it off. There we go. He didn't get stuck to it that long. But as you're you made a good point there. I'm used to short tracks where pacing for 2 laps is not a big deal. But when you're on a 1.5 mile long track, that's a pretty good distance to go when you're almost out of fuel.
As we see a pass for the 4th place spot, will Rick Thompson get the momentum needed to fire back on the outside lane? It looks like he just might, but the advantage goes to the Soul Stealer and the 17 machine. That 17, he was the most dominant car last week. He hit the fuel strategy right on the head. I mean, he nailed it last week. And he's looking to back that strong performance up of a race win last week, and he's currently in the top 5. That Scotty Stevens just messaged me and said he's on duty right now, so he's working and watching the broadcast and throwing shade at people telling them they're slow. He's just doing a trifecta here tonight.
He's good at multitasking. I guess that's pretty impressive. Working and watching a broadcast and having the time to comment. That's pretty impressive.
In the words of Mark Arthur, though, he's a Marine, so he's probably sitting there eating crayons or something right now. Mark, give me an LOL in the chat if you agree, buddy.
As you see, the 17 of Brian Dees and Rick Thompson in that 76 are still duking it out for that 4th position.
And that's what I'm telling you right there. It's the neutral style setup that Mark gives these guys. 17's running the bottom. 76 is in the preferred lane. We've saw most of the cars elect to run the high side tonight, especially as the tires started to wear. But Brian Dees is able to get right there to the side of the 76. But that 76 is just the momentum needed to launch off, that he's just able to maintain a little bit of an advantage over him. But it looks like 17 might be able to. Nope, not going to happen. Momentum high side again.
As this them battling is allowing the 6th and 7th position to close in. Yeah, they're battling, and those two, the 89 of Philip Van Vliet and the 44 of Aaron Bachrover are closing in on these two. As we see, Brian Dees actually clears.
I'm so mad at you. I am so mad at you. We watched this for 45 seconds waiting for somebody to make the move and clear each other. You start talking about the other two, so I click on him and we missed the pass. Way to go, Ramon.
I saw it.
Barely. Barely. We caught it. You see the 44 now looking to the inside of Philip Van Vliet. I told you guys, this 5th place spot right here, it's juicy. It's a stage point. We're at lap number 50 or 45. Coming to lap 50 is the stage break. It may only be 1 extra point, but that's 1 extra point somebody will not get if you finish in the 6th place spot. And I think, honestly, that's why Dees and Thompson were, in fact, racing so hard. Let's give an update back to Jamie Walker, as he has caught the Butcher. That's the Butcher right there in front of him, folks. So, mama, that bad man is coming. And look where he's running. He's running the low side right now.
He's still fighting that wheel on corner exit. But I only got to imagine, though. Not imagine, but catching him, he may have time to catch him, but it's a big track, and we're seeing it's taking people 2 to 3 laps to actually pass somebody, so he might run out of time before the stage break to actually get around.
No. I know where you're going with this. No. If this 88 gets to that yellow car, he's past him. Look at the gap he just cleared on him. I mean, he was almost behind 4 seconds at one point, and he drove him down from the pit stop. I think if he does get there, now he's not really closing the gap really fast. He was 2/10 faster that last time around. We'll check the lap times that come around this time. He may not actually get to him to actually do that battle. As I know, the Butcher wants as many stage points as he possibly can get as well, so it's maybe a battle for the 88, but now typically you do have a point. Passing somebody is a way bigger task than actually just getting to them. I mean, getting to them, that's a small part of the battle. The real feat and the real war starts when you go to the inside or outside of that driver. As Dalton Kilrow is just just setting sail. This is his playground. Everybody else just happens to be playing on it with him.
As Scotty Stevens and Mark Arthur are still chatting in that chat, Mark said they like their red and gold ones the best, and I'm assuming he's talking about the crayons.
He is. He's a little late. We know. We talked to Mark. He's a little bit slower. And now there is a big delay. I've noticed there's a huge delay in the chat versus the time when they say it and the time when we see it. It's not live for whatever reason. As Scotty Stevens says, hard to handle on the low side here. Middle to high lane is the way to go, and you're exactly right. That is due to the progressive banking as we're on lap number 49. Progressive banking basically just means it's less on the bottom, and it starts to climb up more and more degrees as you go higher. It starts out at 17 degrees on the bottom, works its way up to 20 degrees at the top of the corners in turn 1s and 2 and 3 and 4. As we're on the stage break caution lap now, it will come as they cross the stripe for lap 51. Jamie Walker is there. Is he going to be able to take a second place spot away from the Butcher? He's going to drive it off in there, but I think the Butcher's going to have the advantage as they come off turn number 4 here.
They're side by side right now, actually. As Jamie's gonna have that advantage, cutting down to the apron, and he got him.
Yes, I'm always right. Yes, I called it. I called it. And now, man, oh man, what an impressive stage though by Mr. Big Head himself, Dalton Kilrow. Put that thing on the pole position. Didn't think it was going to stick, and ultimately it stuck pretty well because he ended up being tonight's stage winner. As we got a little nifty little logo to put up there next to Dalton Kilrow's Florida State stage winner goes to the 41 machine.
As I'm gonna assume here, we were talking about tires earlier, but I mean it's a free caution lap 50. I'm gonna assume majority are gonna take a set here, right?
Alrighty, so Jason Raymond just sent me a message behind the scene and said, never do that yes again, so I had to do it one more time. I don't think, there will be some people take tires right here, Ramon, but I don't think it'll be as many takers I don't know though, man. It's Kansas. Kansas can be kind of rough on tires. Dalton did a 10-lap run earlier, and he shared the knowledge with me that his right front was 90 and his right rear was 91. So 10% in 10 laps, that's a pretty big chunk. As we're saying, I would think every car that's on the lead lap is going to bring it down pit road.
Yeah, super busy pit road, and we're gonna see what drivers elect to take tires here and which don't. And as we see, Jamie Walker's already in his pit box. I'm not sure if that's an advantage. I'm gonna assume it's the same time.
Now you want to be up front towards the front. The better stalls are always either the very first one on pit road or the last one, of course, because then you can kind of cheat the timing lines. As Jamie Walker, I'm trying to check his times. I know he took right sides. I saw the right side of the car go up. He had a 14.62 second stop, so that 88 is on fresh rubber. Dalton Kilrow's on fresh rubber. The Butcher's on fresh rubber. The first car that is not on fresh rubber is Philip Van Fleet. And then Brad Collins also elected to only have an 8-second stop. So I'm not sure what type of strategy they are trying to play, as I'm currently looking for Mr. Collins. As we're going to pull him up here and have a quick little chat with him. Brad Collins, Tanner Marr in the booth. You got copy? Brad, this is Tanner Marr in the booth. You got copy?
I can hear you, bud.
So, Brad, I noticed right then that it looked as if you elected to not take tires right then. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yep, that's correct.
What's your thoughts and strategy going into that as you're now at the lap 50 stage break?
Well, I'm looking at the deal as I was only setting at 57 and 60 on my right sides. So my plan is to run out, and as long as I can keep a hold of it, everybody else they're going to have to run their tires at least twice.
Right.
And I'll end up just cruising by them because I'll be able to keep speed. So I just got to keep a hold of the tail end of this mess, and I should be good to go.
So I hear you say that right there, Brad. Are you fighting kind of a loose filling car right now?
Actually, I'm not having any issues. I know I've been hearing people talk about loose, but it's going straight and narrow with no issues.
Oh, right on. So that 22's hooked up. So when it gets some fresh rubber on it, Brad, I'll be looking for it to be making its way up towards the front, buddy. Good luck to you.
Cool. Thanks, bud.
Yes, sir, buddy. That was Brad Collins, driver of the number 22 Speed Mafia Fish'em.net machine.
We got some more chats in the chat. Mark Arthur says it's time to start the Walker show. What are your thoughts on that, Tanner? I mean,
it's coming. It's not a matter of when. I mean, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when, because it's definitely coming. And Scotty said, figure Sexy Tone would be towards the front here. Sexy Tone made a little bit of mistake. Well, no, yeah, he did actually. Never mind, I forgot. As I'm not sure what he's doing now. I think he made another mistake. As if you don't care, can you move him up and let's have a word with him? I think he tried to go down pit road right then, guys, and committed too late.
Let me see here if I have the ability to do that.
I
do not have the ability to do that.
Gosh, killing me, Smalls. All right, lights are off on the pace car anyways, so I think Sexy Tone wanted to top off right then, and the pit road guide said no.
As we're gonna see, Dalton Kilroy is gonna have the ability to go after the pace car when he wants here. So let's see what his strategy here is. Maybe make him wait and catch him off guard, or go super early and catch him off guard.
As the field is really spread out, I don't know if they got the memo or not. We are one to go, fellas. You better get in where you fit in. We're getting ready to be green flag racing once again here, folks, for the American Sim Racing League, brought to you by Islands Woodcrafter, only on the 5 King Motorsports YouTube channel.
As it looks like he's gonna go here, but Jamie Walker stays right with him. He's not letting him get away.
It's the battle for second place, though, right now. Jamie Walker wanted to come down. He does come down. Never mind. I didn't think the hole was going to be there. It looked like the 10 machine had the momentum needed. 41's out front right now, but the lead that he had before, it was nice and cozy and comfortable. That lap 50 stage break made it no mas, because now the 88 is going to be looking to the inside of the 41. 41 does have the momentum on the high side, but with fresh rubber, I don't think you can fight off this bottom lane. As the 88 is going to use the entire apron, cut that course as much as he can. As I think we're going to see a new race leader come out of turn 2 right here.
Yeah, he's definitely rolling the bottom really good here. As he's able to stay right alongside of Dalton Kilroy, but Dalton just has that run on the outside that you were talking about. As he's going to try to send it here on the bottom again.
And you notice right there, racing with a lot of respect too. No side drafting, no funny business. As Dalton Kilroy just played peekaboo with the field right then, disappeared for a minute and came back with a huge advantage. Mama, I think we got a cheater. Look at him. He's blinking out again and takes a huge advantage. So now advantage back to Dalton Kilroy's Daddy-O's machine up front. Got Jamie Walker, though. He's trying to hunt the prey right now. All right, I'm tired of watching Dalton and his blinking mess. Go to the Jamie Walker Speed Energy machine. See if that 388 can actually get back up there to him.
And he's not blinking anymore. So for once, it's not the broadcaster's curse, it's the broadcaster's cure.
Yes, sir. That's right. I cure all. As I'm noticing Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. We saw this earlier on the run. I thought maybe he was saving tires, but I don't believe that's the case. I just don't think he has the short run speed to match Jamie Walker or Dalton Kilroy. Now, I think over the long run, he kind of matches up with him fairly decent. But in the short run, we saw this earlier with Dalton. Dalton just took off to a great lead. Maybe that respect might go out the window right there. Like Dalton tried to throw a late block right then. Oh, man. It's only lap 60, boys. I don't know if they got the memo or not. This is a 150 lap race. You better calm it down if you want to see it, if you want to be there and see it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think these guys are, I don't know, they think it's a 70 lap race. These guys are getting after it.
As we're riding on the nose of the 88 right now. As he's now forced Dalton's hand to take the apron. Dalton was not taking the apron earlier. But he knows he has to do everything the 88's doing. Basically mirror that driver to try to keep the pace that the 388 has right now of Jamie Walker. But Dalton's doing a fantastic job. If he can just maintain this right now, they're both using their tires up basically about the same. With Dalton running the high side there for a while, he may have a little bit of advantage, but I don't know. I've heard both ways. I've heard the high side uses more tires, the bottom side uses more tires. I would think the bottom uses more tires because you're cranking the wheel more. But then, contrary to that, the high side, you're carrying more speed. So what do I know?
I'm not sure, man. I was busy taking care of something, so sorry for going a little mute there.
I want to step away from this. I want to look at some other races, or other position battles as 41 blinks out once again. But I feel like the moment we step away from this battle right here, it's going to be Jamie Walker setting sail. But I don't think he's going to ever check out on Dalton. Dalton's too talented to let another driver set sail and take off on him. But when I think of ARCA cars, some of the fastest drivers that come to mind, you're looking at them right now up front. And that's not blowing smoke or anything. They are truly, really dominant when it comes to these ARCA cars. Shoot, Dalton won 9 races last season. That number would have been a little bit less, though, if Jamie Walker was running. They probably would have had about 5 apiece, if I had to guess. But they have they're battling, but even still, they're still the fastest 2 cars on the track doing battle like that. When do you ever see that? Never.
Yeah, usually if you're battling, like I said earlier, we saw earlier, usually when you're battling, I mean, you're losing time, but they are actually extending the gap to third place of the Butcher Benjamin. There's about a half a car length gap right there, but if you notice, look at that, he closed it up. He's right on his bumper now.
Yeah, he closed in on him fast right then. Got a great run off of turn 4. I think Jamie may just be pacing him right now. Just trying to make Dalton use his stuff. As Mark says, top uses more, so I'm going to say the bottom uses the most rubber. But, Jamie may just be pacing Dalton Kilroy right now.
Yeah, maybe trying to push him to making a mistake, but
right.
It's, I'm not sure. It kind of, like you said, it looked like Jamie was lifting and backing off a little bit more than Dalton there, especially on corner entry. We watched it last time by, and Dalton kind of extended the gap right there on the entry.
As we go back to our third place runner right now, it's the Butcher. He qualified third. He's running there. Brian Dees. He's up to a 4th place spot, gained 9 spots from when he gridded. And Rick Thompson, another big mover tonight. He's currently up 9 spots. And now, we got the cars kind of singled out a little bit. Everybody's clicking off laps. I think now would be the perfect time to hit the fans with the MF Racing Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night Award. Jason Raymond, I'll give you the honors and allow yourself to go first.
Alright, I gotta look through the field a little bit here. Let me see what we got. I don't know, I mentioned it earlier. I gotta go with the 3 of Corey Sherman. I just like how bright that car is, and the colors, they match perfectly. The lime, I don't know if you call that lime green. That's like a highlighter, and then the dark blue they just kind of contrast perfectly together.
They absolutely do indeed, and I'm noticing since we went back to Corey Sherman. Corey Sherman was one of the guys that did not pit or did not take tires. So Corey Rutherford from 12th place to 18th place, they're all on the lead lap. None took tires. Corey Rutherford, Paul Ellison, John Kay, Philip Van Fleet, Brad Collins, we spoke with him earlier, and then Corey Sherman. All right, and then my MF Racing Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night has got to go to... Let's just see here just a second. I'm sorry. I gotta go with 388 of Jamie Walker. I don't know what it is about the pink. It's just, it's basic. It has just those 2 little stripes on the side, 2 little stripes on the hood. But that's my MF Racing Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night. And you yourself can win the Best Paint Scheme of the Night by looking up MF Racing Designs on Facebook. He does ARCA cars like you're seeing here. As we have a race for the lead right now. Jamie Walker's taking it to the inside of the 41. But he does any car imaginable. Whether it's a road course car, a dirt car, asphalt, it don't matter. You want it, he can do it. That's MF Racing Designs over on Facebook.
We're seeing that they're starting to battle heavy again as Jamie Walker's making that inside kind of look like the place to be. I don't know if it's just he's super good down there, as we saw how he was rolling the center earlier, but he's did he just kick it a little sideways right there?
He's kicking it sideways as we speak right then. He was still chasing that car. As you see, now the side drafting starting to happen as we're getting close to the halfway point of this race. Will Dalton be able to keep the momentum needed up on the high side? 388 has the advantage down low. Going to use that apron to his advantage again. And now we saw when Jamie was coming through the field, he was rolling at bottom, making passes through the field. So Jamie may just prefer to take that pink car down to that white line in the corner.
As he had the lead last time by, but Dalton Kilroy looks to have that run on the outside, and he just cleared Jamie Walker once again, so this battle is not over. I didn't think it was going to be over, and it probably won't be over until the checkered flag flies.
At some point when you're battling hard like this, though, one of these two drivers are bound to make a mistake. Which drivers are going to be, I don't know. They're both sim racing veterans. The mistakes come few and far between. But one of them is bound to make a mistake, as we're actually going to go back on board. First, we're going to go on board with Jamie Walker, because we had been on board with him earlier. Saw him really trying to save the car earlier, so let's see what the tires are like now with about 23 laps on them.
And yeah, he's counter steering it. Not as bad as earlier, to be honest. It looked like kind of settled down a little bit, but we got lap traffic up ahead, and that's going to play a huge factor into this one.
Yeah, we got to go back to TV1 cam, because Corey Sherman, he elected to not take rubber a while ago. The risk is not looking like it's paying off yet, but when these boys come in, these drivers, and one female, I don't want to say boys because Miss Amanda's out there, but they're getting close to the fuel window now. They got about 3 laps to go in the fuel window. When the 388, who just used the 3 as a pick right then, he just took the lead. But when these guys have to come down and take fuel, Corey Sherman, he's going to be a rocket ship compared to what Jamie and Dalton are, because he did not take tires. He has an extra set in the pits.
That was a very smart move right there by Jamie Walker, using that lap car to his advantage, kind of sticking Dalton Kilroy behind him. And I mean, that was a very smart move. He said they're veterans, and that's a veteran move. I wouldn't have even thought to do that if that was me in that position.
And now it's looking like Jamie Walker's got not a comfortable lead, but he's got a gap now. Taylor the Butcher Benjamin is bringing up 3rd place right now. Brian Dees is hitting pit road as we speak. But you got Taylor the Butcher running in 3rd. Rick Thompson's currently running in the 4th place spot. And then Aaron Bockover, he got himself inside the top 5 after starting in the 10th place spot. John Perkins and Joshua Sexton. We saw these two kind of tangle earlier when Sexton got into the wall. They were running right there, nose to tail with each other on the grid. They're running 6th and 3rd. Or 6th and 7th. 6th and 3rd. LOL.
As I'm hearing reports of pitting, and here we go. We're pit road is starting to become a little bit more active here at lap 77.
Brian Dees is the first one to break the ice with the pit call. He's going to come in before everybody. But that then broke the ice, like I mentioned. John Perkins is now down pit road. Joshua Sexton's down pit road. The Shermanator, he's going to throw some tires on this number 3 Savage Edge machine, I do believe. Let's see if the left side of that car gets jacked up or the right side first. Right side is up in the air. That 3 car is going to be on the move. He just got to get that lap back, though. He's got to get the laps back, because he's currently shown 2 laps down right now. He'll get a lap back when it does cycle through, but he's still got to race his way back for that 2nd lap back.
And I'm not sure if I'm, like we heard earlier in the interview from Brad Collins, kind of wondering if Jamie, Dalton, and the front runners will take tires here.
I don't think so. I don't think they can. I don't think you can. If you want to be there and have the best tires at the end, you got to just let it ride right now. You decided, made your bed at lap 50 to take the tires. You need to go to about lap 100 at least, as they are really close to the pit window now. And I think that's what we're seeing Dalton do right now. I think Dalton's trying to stretch fuel right now to maybe eliminate a stop.
And we know from past experience, he's pretty good at doing that. As I'm looking at that chat, and Scotty Stevens is in there calling me out now. He said, I'm the rookie still. And I know he's talking about that pick move I was talking about.
You are a rookie.
Okay, I guess I'm a rookie.
As Sky said, here comes Sexy Towing up to 7th now and watching the relative. He's gaining on the leaders. Watch out. Scotty always being the optimistic guy in the chat. As I'm surprised our front runners have not pitted yet. They're going to stretch this field out as far as they can possibly go. Coming to lap number 81, Jamie Walker to set sail. And as I say that, Hill Road, down pit road.
So, like you said, I'm not gonna assume. You're gonna assume that this is just a fuel call here.
Yeah, this will be fuel only. It's not even being assumed. We can place a bet on it if you want to.
I don't want to lose any money.
He might take tires, but I wouldn't think so.
Nope, just a fuel call.
Yes, I was right again. It's John Cade, 315 Cobalt Tools. He's down pit road as well. As the leaders are coming up on Dalton. Let's give an update on where Dalton's at. Dalton's trying to get off the access road, make it to the racetrack. I don't know. Jamie Walker's already passed him, hasn't he? Yes.
I believe he did.
Yep. Dalton Kilroe is on the backstretch. Jamie Walker's going in 3 and 4. I'm looking for Jamie to pit next time around, if not this lap, as he slows that machine down. Gotta slow it down to pit road speed, which I believe is 45 miles per hour. It's pretty hard to do when you go from 160 to 45, because you try to get everything you can out of it. The Butcher came down, and Rick Thompson's 76 machine came down. I look at this car, and I just think of Finding Nemo, the 76 machine.
Finding Nemo. I was gonna say Mario, because if you look at that hood, it's kind of like it kind of looks like, I don't even know. It looks like Mario to me. Mario Kart.
I don't know. I just think of Nemo. Finding Nemo when I see that.
Is it just a fuel call for that 76? No touch.
Yes!
And he's back off again.
Right again. Yes!
Not right again. You didn't call that out.
Let's give an update on Corey Sherman. That last time around, Corey Sherman went up with a 31.29 compared to our new leader right now, Corey Rutherford's 33.52. So almost 2 seconds faster, guys. As Jamie Walker has already pitted, and he came out in 3rd. That's the good thing about having a gap over your competition. You can pit and not even have to have it cycle all the way and still come out in 3rd. As Dalton Kilroe is in the toe position, though, right there behind him, trying to get back up there to him. I think the winner of this race, if it's either Dalton or Jamie, it's going to come down to who pulls the best pit call out. Like, who stretches out that last tire set, who has the freshest rubber, the biggest advantage at the end. That's who we're going to see this race. We're coming to lap number 86. And the 31 is bringing it down pit road.
As Mark Arthur in the chat says he likes Philip's car, so if Mark Arthur was in here, the MF Racing Design's best paint would probably be Philip.
It's funny he says that because Philip actually won the MF Racing Design's best paint scheme of the night. It wasn't last week. It was last season at some point.
Well, there you go. He could have been a 2-time MF Racing Design's best paint winner.
As shout out to Backover, that 44 Bush machine has made its way up to 3rd place. So Backover's been a big mover here tonight. You like how I say the Bush every time?
Yeah, it reminds me of the commercial.
Well, why do you think I do it? I just did it. Just do it to do it.
I'm saying it reminds me of the commercial. I see that all the time.
You can't say Bush without doing it. I mean, it's just impossible. Say it. Try it.
Bush.
You're
right.
See, you can't do it. You gotta do it. Gotta do it.
It just doesn't sound right if you don't.
Right. Bush. All right.
I kind of like that paint scheme too. I'm gonna cut you off because I like talking about paint schemes. It's kind of like a vintage look.
Yeah, it's very, very old school type vibe to it. Got an old school top 5 for an old school type driver, Aaron Bachler, 44. Trying to get up there and do battle with former rival. Him and Dalton Kilrow, they had it out for each other last season on Sunday nights. If he gets up there to the 41 machine, will he rough him up or will he race him clean? We'll have to wait and see, but he's currently about 5 seconds back right now. So he's going to need a caution. He's over 5 seconds. 6 seconds back of the leader, about 5 seconds back off Dalton.
You know, we saw last time we were watching Dalton, he was right up behind the 88 of Jamie Walker. He's about 0.8 to a second back now.
Hey, we're going to see if he's in here real quick. Mark Arthur, this is Tanner Marr, Jason Raymond up in the booth. You got a copy? Oh, he's going to come up here and be quiet. Mark Arthur, Tanner Marr in the booth. You got a copy? I would leave him in here, but we know how his background noise is. Well, good talk, Mark. Good talk, buddy.
I was on my phone.
Oh, there he is. Mark Arthur, Tanner Marr in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up?
So, be honest with me here when I'm about to ask you. You heard us move you up in the booth, and you was like, all right, I gotta go. And you hung up on him so you could talk to us, correct?
No, I was watching a broadcast.
So what are you thinking right now about this race? Do you truly think it's going to be the Jamie Walker show?
Oh, yeah. I think Jamie was playing a little cat and mouse with Dalton there earlier. And, you know, Jamie's kind of like that. He doesn't really force the issue. He'll sit and ride behind you and let you burn your stuff up while he's pretty much saving it. He's not going to force it. He knows he's fast enough to get around you when he wants to. And now that he's got around him, you can see he's just stretching it out.
As Joshua Sexton with an unscheduled pit stop here, Mark. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Now, I want to ask you also, we saw Corey Sherman and Brad Collins for sure were two of them that I know off the top of my head. They elected to not take rubber, that lap 50 stage break or whatever. And now they're on fresh rubber. Do you like that call?
No. I mean, just for myself personally, I'm the type that I always want the best equipment at the end. So, you know, I don't need it in the middle of the race when it really doesn't matter. I want it at the end when I'm trying to pass you for the win.
No, that's what I'm saying. So they didn't take tires when everybody else did. So right now, they're trying to fight and get their lap back, you know, because they just
How
took
many laps they got left?
So we're on lap 92 of 150 right now. Corey pitted and took his first set on lap 75.
So they're going to have to pit 2 more times, right?
Right, and they got 2 more sets.
20, right. Oh, they have 2 more sets?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean that's a good call, I guess. If you've saved a little bit and you can take tires, but you know the thing of it is when you have somebody like Jamie Walker in the field, it's kind of.
As I apologize, folks, he is on his phone. We'll hear from him in just a second.
I'm gonna bring it up.
You're good. You go again. You said when you had somebody like Jamie Walker.
Yeah, I was trying to teach Dalton this when he was trying to be Mr. Safe Fuel all the time, and I says, you know, it's great to have that in your pocket to when you need it, you can use it. But if you try to do it all the time, what happens is you generally end up shooting yourself in the foot. So if you got somebody like Jamie Walker in the field that's just going to stretch it out on you on old tires, sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot by getting a lap down, and then there's a caution, and you know you might be the second car lap down, so you don't really get your lap back. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's a great strategy when it works out, but sometimes when you try to play strategy, you end up, you know, hurting yourself more than helping yourself.
So we're kind of seeing it with the Shermanator right now. He finally got his lap back, passing Jamie Walker. So, I mean, he is on the lead lap now, Mark, but he's only not even a half a straightaway in front of Jamie Walker now. So I mean, he's got to come all the way back around and get to him again to make a pass on him.
And what are those good tires going to be like if he makes up a whole lap?
Exactly. That's why I wanted to ask you.
But it's probably going to be worse than what Jamie's running on old tires, you know.
Right.
So, like I said, sometimes you put yourself behind the 8-ball that way, and that's the problem, right? So, racers, we have a racehorse mentality, right? We love to go fast and we want to get front, and sometimes when we get ourselves behind like that, we get ourselves in trouble because we abuse that equipment that we saved. We abuse it by trying to get back up there. And if you can be disciplined and sometimes realize, well, I'm on a different strategy. I need to run my race. I'm going to get back up there. I don't need to push it. Then sometimes it can work, but that's really hard for people to do, especially untrained racers like we are, the sim racers. We're not doing it on a, basically, we don't live our lives racing like some of those top guys do. And it's even hard for them to pull the reins and just, kind of, run your race, let the race come back to you, and have that discipline of,
that's
I
the
don't
battle.
need to go right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a constant battle. So Jason, with you being in here, do you like to call, because we got hindsight now. I mean, we see basically how it's playing out. Cautions didn't fall for him to bunch him back up. Now, if a caution would have failed for Sherman, right whenever he took his fresh rubber, got his lap back, then it's a different story. But, I mean, it's Wednesday nights. The cautions come few and far between. Raymond, do you like to call to not take tires when the rest of the field did on lap 50?
I mean, if they were going to get the cautions, I think it was a smart thing to do. But like you said, there's not many cautions in here. So with having to make up the full lap, I don't think it would be really worth it. Because like Mark said, by the time you get back to them, your tires are probably just going to be worse than what they would be if you would have took them.
I mean, I think they plateaued already, guys. I think we're going to go cockpit cam with Jamie right now. He's actually catching Corey Sherman now, guys. He's catching him. And Corey is on fresh rubber. Or, I mean, it's used now, but at some point, it just kind of, they even out. And that's what we're seeing right now.
How many cars they have in the field, Tanner? Like 15 or something?
20. They started 21, but we've had, something happened to a few drivers where they left.
So sometimes when that's good is when you're like, if you're like a 13th to 21st car, and that that's where you're at tonight, sometimes it's better sometimes it's okay to take that gamble and roll the dice and say, well, I'm not going to beat Jamie straight up.
Beat him on strategy. I
got to do something different, right? I can't do the same thing Jamie's doing because he's going to beat me at that. Or Jamie or Dalton or whoever's up front.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're going to beat me at their game, so I got to do something different and break up the game and maybe get them thinking about, oh man, what am I supposed to do, and get their mental state off by doing something different. And it doesn't hurt to try because you're probably going to be the 13th to 21st place car anyway. So why not try something different? You might hit something in one race and go, that kind of worked out, and
exactly.
You might figure something out that they didn't figure out, but you never figure that out by doing what everybody else does. So
I say it almost every Sunday, Mark, because, I mean, let's face it, Dalton and Derek and Taylor, they're typically faster than I am, so
yeah.
They do
whatever the leaders do.
Right, they do their strategy. Yeah. And I said just this past Sunday, we have a caution on the speedway. Matthew Eden just went around, but I told him, I was like, if I continue to do the same strategy y'all are doing, I'm going to run 10th still. So I got to swing for the fences, and some weeks he's going to kill me. Instead of finishing 10th, I might finish 14th, But then other weeks, I may pull off a 6th place, 5th place, 4th place finish. As we're going to bring up the caution and see what happened here right now. As I'm seeing Matthew Eden's 88. Suction cup to the wall, tries to pull it down, and nowhere to go for Amanda Sherman, who was having a picture-perfect race. Kept it clean all race. Didn't get a lot of damage right then, though, Jason.
Yeah, kind of just an unfortunate situation there. The 88, like you said, got into the wall, and just nowhere to go for Amanda Sherman.
So now, we're at lap, got to pull up his side ticker to see what lap we're on. 102. Jamie last pitted on 82. I think, I don't know, Jamie's in the worst spot because if he don't pit, Dalton, Brian Dees, Rick Thompson, Corey Rutherford, they can come in and take their tires. So I think with the way the trend's been in this race, no cautions, I think you got to pit and take your last set. Maybe, I mean, no, they still have, wait, Dalton.
2 sets, right?
They have 1 set. There's only 2. There was only 2 in the pits.
Oh,
so
yeah,
3 total.
right. So they all have 1 set of tires remaining. Everybody in this field has 1 set remaining right now.
Even the guys that just took a set?
Yes. Like Corey Sherman and them. I don't know if they'll take tires right here or not. We're actually going to keep the camera on Sherman. I know for sure it was Corey Sherman and Brad Collins that did not take tires when the rest of the field did. And then they ran that fuel out this last run and then took tires.
I would not take tires here if I was...
But they have an extra. No, that's right. They only got 1 set in the pit still.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to take one in the middle of this.
Yeah,
this little stint here.
Right. They did not take tires, so what we were saying a while ago, that caution kind of switches it up a little bit because we know, folks at home, cautions breed cautions. And even in this series where cautions are few and far between, you bunch this group back up, there can still be another caution. It ain't likely, but it's more likely now than when it was everybody was stretched out. Corey Sherman may look like a genius here in about 20 laps when everybody else's tires are fried. Caution comes out, and he has fresh rubber to put on.
Yeah, you get a Dalton or Taylor right now that saw Jamie pulling away here a minute ago. They're gonna run harder to try to get him behind them, and things happen when you run like that.
As I'm seeing, Dalton Kilroe only had a 7-second stop. He did not take tires. Jamie Walker took tires. So there's only a few people that actually didn't take tires. Dalton, Brad Collins, Corey Sherman, and that's it.
Has Jamie taken any tires before?
Yeah, Jamie's now out of tires. He took tires at 50, and he just took tires at 102.
Might have been a mistake for Jamie, but Jamie's really good at saving his equipment. So
Right.
if it's a good decision for anybody, he's probably the one. But I wouldn't have made that decision. Like I said, I like all my fresh stuff on when I'm trying to pass you for the win.
Right. I mean, we're racers. If we can have any type of advantage over our competition, we want it.
Right.
And especially in these fixed setup leagues. So guys, the guy's actually talking with us, Mark Arthur, right now. I pulled him up here in the booth. He's the one that builds these setups. He builds them for Monday nights, Super Late Model, Crooked Line Racing. Sometimes he builds them on Tuesday nights. If I'm not lazy after the Saturday night truck race, he helps me build them for Tuesday. And he builds them for this set on Wednesday. He builds a lot of sets for a lot of different series, and there's a reason for that. Like I mentioned earlier, they're very racy sets. Your Jamie Walkers can drive them, and your Jason Raymonds can drive them, and everywhere in between. Your fast guys, slow guys.
Whoa. Hold on. Right there. That's not even...
That's just.
I mean, sure, I'm not Jamie Walker fast, but I'm a mid-pack.
Raymond said, whoa, I've wrecked plenty of times.
No way.
Who said I can drive them?
Mark, just hold on. He's like, hold on, I gotta put some air in her.
Man, I get bullied.
As Dalton Kilroe up here, on a disadvantage when it comes to the tires, they pitted on lap 82, so he has exactly 23 laps on the tires when they go back green flag racing here. I think Jamie's going to eat him alive, right? But he's not going to pull away from him. Jamie's very smart. Jamie knows Dalton still has tires in the pits, so he's not going to try to burn his stuff up right here.
But he's going to have to pull away from him because he's going to know that once they do take that green flag stop.
All right.
He's hoping it's going to be a green flag stop because if it's a yellow, he's done.
Right, sit and duck at that point.
So if he wants to get as much distance as he can before that green flag because he knows he's going to be a fuel only, which is going to gain him some more time on the track.
Uh-huh.
But Dalton's going to get those tires, and he needs to get enough distance to make Dalton push to try to catch him to basically burn his tires up. Now Dalton, I've tried to work with Dalton with this before too. Dalton's used to be easy to get to do that, to like burn his stuff up and make mistakes, but so that might be what Jamie's doing, is trying to put as he lets Dalton go here. But I mean, he may be doing that to try to get out in front of Dalton, kind of pressure him a little bit, get him to use his stuff up a little bit, and especially when he gets tires, have him chasing him down and burning his stuff up. But we'll see how it plays out.
You're saying right now that with Jamie just going on the high side, power move, if you was in Jamie Walker's shoes, you're going to try to create as much distance between yourself and Dalton or whoever's in second place?
I would try to get as far as I could without burning my stuff up, right? Because I got to go 2 stints. So I'm going to try to keep the car as comfortably on edge as I can. I'm not going to be hanging, yawing it out, burning that right rear off the car. But I am going to be trying to, stretch that distance. I want to put as much gap as I can because when he goes and gets those tires, I want Dalton to look up at the time and go, oh my gosh, I'm 15 seconds, 20 seconds behind him. I really got to go. I'm not going to catch him in 20 laps. Right. And you play that mental game to make, if you're 5 seconds, Dalton's going to go, well, I got new tires, so I'm going to catch him easy.
Right.
But if it's 15 or 20 seconds and he's got 20 laps to do it, you got to gain a second a lap. So you'll make him push hard, which you probably can do it But just like what happened to Corey there, you want him to push hard and plateau out early, and then he's not going to catch you.
Right, because Corey was on like 20 lap fresher tires versus Jamie, and
Right.
he did catch him, but in order to catch him, he had to burn up his stuff. As you see, Dalton, that 41 machine's currently going backwards. He's going backwards, folks, and he will. He's on old tires. He's hoping for a caution. If that timely caution was the fall for him, he'll look like a genius. But if the caution don't come, it's going to be rough on him.
And the good thing about Jamie is every single car that passes Dalton, that's another car he's going to have to pass on those fresh tires.
Exactly.
To burn those freshies up even that much quicker.
And you touched on it a while ago. You said when they do go in, because there's another pit stop involved in this race, there'll be at least one more. Jamie's only going to have like a 7-second stop because he's only taking fuel, whereas Dalton has a 14-second stop because he's going to take his tires. So that's 7 more seconds added onto it. And now Dalton's not the only one that didn't take tires right then. We have Corey Sherman. He didn't take tires right then, as they're currently doing battle. Got the 55 of Paul Ellison, who is on fresh rubber, currently inside a box right now, not able to go high or low because the track is currently occupied in front of him.
And you think that 7 seconds. A 7-second versus 14 seconds, you might be like, well, it's not that much bad. It's only 7 seconds.
Put it on a racetrack.
But 2 seconds into pits is like a straightaway on the racetrack.
Yep.
So that's a huge, huge difference.
7 seconds on the racetrack is huge.
Oh, it's going to be 20 seconds probably on the track. 15, 20 seconds probably.
Right. But I'm talking about just the gap itself with a 31 second lap time. Shoot, that's insane.
Right.
Jason, are you alive?
I'm just letting you guys talk, man. You guys are just carrying on and on. I'm just kind of sitting here enjoying the race, listening, waiting for my cue.
Yeah, I mean, if you get paid by the word, you'd be broke right now, Jason.
Hey, I mean, good thing I'm not being paid by the word. But now that you guys actually did stop talking, I can answer Scotty's 3 messages in the chat. First of all, he said, "Who's calling Bush for a sponsor deal?" And I'm assuming that's gonna be. There you go. There it is again. I'm assuming that's going to be Tanner. That's all up to Tanner. And then he said he had to step away. What happened with the caution? 88 of Matthew Edens just got into the wall, and when he pulled it off, Amanda Sherman just had nowhere to go and ran into the back of him.
Thanks, Scott.
Go ahead.
Scotty missed my message earlier when he asked what happened to Sexy Tone. I told him Sexy Tone been making love to the wall tonight.
I didn't even see that message.
I didn't either. And then the final one wasn't even a question. It was just ha 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 shade. Must have been talking about you guys roasting me about my driving.
Mark,
by the way, Tanner, you burn more tires on the top, burn less tires on the bottom. And the reason being is, now I don't think it works that way in real life, but in iRacing is you're carrying so much speed at the top, and you're basically, this setup, you don't even really have to lift up much at the top. You're just cracking the throttle and get right back in it.
Really?
Both corners. Yeah, it's really fast. And so when you're carrying that much speed up there, burning more tires, right? Because it's faster, you're burning more fuel, more tire. When you go to the bottom, you have to lift, and it's got a lot of all throttle time, and you have to slow down a lot more to make the turn. So then when you slow down, you're burning up less. Now, if you run it bottom wrong, sure, you're going to burn that front up really bad. But if you run it right, you're slowing down. You're not going as fast, so you're not scrubbing as much speed off as far as sliding the tires, and you're burning less fuel. So because you're off throttle for so long and you're shortest distance around the track. So in iRacing, that's the way it generally tends to work. Not all tracks, but most of the tracks, when you run the top, it just tends to burn the tires up quite a bit more. But I mean, Bristol, you would think Bristol you burn less tire top, but you don't. You actually burn less running the bottom.
And I want to hit on something right then as we go cockpit cam with Jamie Walker right now. You mentioned now you can burn up more tires on the bottom if you drive it wrong. And what Mark's implying there is, look how little Jamie Walker's turned that wheel to the left to make the car actually turn. Now, it is cocked to the right a little bit on the straightaway. That's just an offset. But still, imagine that wheel straight whenever he's turning it. He's barely moving that wheel.
Jamie likes So offset's just a preference, right? A lot
Right.
of people go, well, if you move this, if I go to a minus this, the car turns better. It does not.
It's
That's all in your
placebo.
head.
It's placebo. Exactly.
All that offset is the cogs on the steering wheel. If you pull it off, turn it forward 20 cogs and put it back on, that's where the wheel is set.
Right.
That's what that is. So now sometimes if you if you don't like the feeling of cranking the wheel and you take that and put it at a positive offset, you're not going to be really cranking the wheel. You're just turning the wheel back straight, and you don't have that feeling that you're cranking the wheel when you really are.
Right.
So that's what, and Jamie likes it that way. Jamie likes his wheel set up to where if you go back to the cockpit and watch, when he's in the corner, he wants that orange stripe centered.
Almost dead
I like
straight.
it centered down the straightaway.
Right.
Yeah, Jamie likes it centered in the corner. He wants the tape to be centered as he's going through the corner. And if you watch, that's probably where his tape
It
is.
is. It's right there. But look how little he is turning. So like he's
Right.
not asking a lot out of the right front. He's driving basically off the right rear, and that's what the fast guys do. And that's how they save their tires. He is turning the car more with the right rear. He initiates it with the front tires, of course, but then he's using that throttle, like Mark said, not a whole lot off throttle time. And you hear him, he's lifting a little bit. I know I have it turned down really low on stream, but he's lifting very, very, very little, and he's back into the gas, and he's pedaling it. And what that means, he's going full throttle, half throttle, full throttle, just kind of getting the car to rotate. And he's doing all that with the drive tires on the back. As he has opened it up to almost a 5-second lead over Brian Dees. So I think it was you earlier said it was getting ready to be the Jamie Walker show, and that it is indeed as we're coming to 30 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I think the
Usually
fuel
when
window's
Jamie
gonna-
gets out to the front. I'm lagging. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm kind of thinking the fuel window is gonna open up soon. That's gonna allow Dalton Kilroy to take those tires, but he fell way back to the 10th position, so he's got to make up a decent amount of ground, and he's gonna lose that time from taking those tires. So unless he gets a caution, I'm not sure. Like you guys said, I'm not sure it was worth it.
Jason didn't speak for 30 minutes, bro. He does, and Mark talks over him.
Tanner, why can't I see your... Never mind. Maybe that's not on the broadcast, but I see you're just sharing your screen in here.
Yeah. You just see my screen. You see the cursor and stuff, or whatever, the windows.
The bar at the bottom,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that one. Now, once Jamie's out to the front like this, that's usually when he'll... Jamie is nice. You know, Jamie's not going to go out there and just dog you. That's why he didn't qualify. He knew he was the fastest car out there by a few tenths.
Right.
And that's the way Jamie is. Jamie don't start in the back to flex and to do anything like that. He wants to race people, right? So Jamie is the type that Jamie and I race very similar. I've known Jamie since 2012. But Jamie will get back there, and you see how slow he comes up there, right? He probably could push it, get back up to the front in 20 laps.
Very, very patient. Very patient coming to the field.
He wants to race you guys,
Right.
So, I mean, he knows if he starts out front, he's going to be out front all night. Who's he going to race? He's only going to race you when he laps you. So he wants to get out there, race with you guys, have some fun, you know. And Jamie's a quiet dude, but, he's not going to sit there and talk to you and say, hey, man, that was fun. But that's what he's doing. He's getting back there so he can race you guys, have fun with you guys, come up through there, and guys that don't never get to race Jamie get to race Jamie, and but once he gets out there to the front and it gets toward the end of the race, he starts to put on a clinic.
You mentioned Jamie don't talk a whole lot. It was actually a joke that we all got a good chuckle at. He spoke in one BPO race, and I just said, just candidly, I was like, dude, I've raced with Jamie Walker a year and a half, and that's the first time I ever heard his voice. And that was the truth. That was the first time I ever heard the man ever speak. And it was like, I was like, I'm not joking there. Like, I ain't being dead serious. I've never heard Jamie ever even speak, as Corey Sherman's bringing it down pit road. So the pit window, Mr. Ramon, you did call it. Dalton Kilroy's on pit road. Backover's on pit road. So these guys that did not take tires, they're going to try to make the ground up that they lost to Jamie Walker when he did take his first step.
It's definitely gonna be something to watch for, and I'm happy I did something right. You guys are just babbling on. I'm sitting here getting kind of bored. So
well, speak up.
I can't speak up. You guys don't stop talking.
That's
you can
not
use
true.
it together and it can go for hours. And it for sure is true.
I don't know why we don't call races together. 'Cause we could. I mean, there ain't never gonna be no dead space. That's for sure.
You gotta jump in there, baby. Gotta jump in there.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I hear Mark start to breathe, I'm in.
I get cut off.
We gotta
As soon as you
breathe.
stop, I get straight cut off.
Pick your winner here tonight, Jason. We'll give you the floor.
I mean, without a caution, I don't think anybody's catching Jamie Walker. So I gotta go with Jamie Walker.
You know, you're probably right on that assessment, but I'm gonna go with the number 17 of Brian Dees. He's on the same strategy as Walker. They're just a little bit different when they pit, obviously. I think Jamie, I'm not sure. Well, he has no reason really to pit early because he don't have no tires in the pits. So what's it matter if he pits early? He's inside the window now. He just knows he has to pit, and we're just waiting on Walker to pit. I think as long as the caution don't come, it's Jamie's race to lose at this point.
You know who I'm gonna pick. You're always a winner when you're in the pink.
Right, and I win a whole lot in the pink. You stole my swag in the pink car.
Win a whole
You
lot.
tried to
Whoa,
steal
I don't
my
know.
swag.
I don't know about that one.
I have
Tanner,
been in the
but
pink for a long time. Michael
I
Fox
don't-
told me
since
I still
2014.
don't know. I still don't know about that one of winning a whole lot. But
all the time.
Or all
As
of
we're
it.
seeing the 3 car right here. Get back on the rails, Jason.
You're not all pink. You're just a little pink.
Right. No, I know. My mod is all pink. That's some black in there. As the 388 is bringing it down pit road. He's sliding it on pit road. Goodness gracious. Oh, he may have been speeding, guys. He locked him up after
I
the
don't
commitment
think
cone.
he's
Mark,
He's pretty good.
it said 61 on SDK now. That's a little off. That is off. That's not.
They got timing. They got timing lines now. So as long as you get down to an average
Oh,
within
he
that
did.
timing line,
No,
you're
I
good.
just heard it over the radio. He did speed on pit road.
I thought he did. I really did. Because he locked him up so late right then. Like after he crossed the line, he was already at a timing line.
Yep, he crossed the line at 59 miles per hour.
Is that what he said?
That's what I just went back and I watched it.
And we all know what iRacing's stupid speeding penalty is, which is so unrealistic. I mean, they got everything.
It's a
else pretty
hold, ain't it?
close. 40 seconds. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like you would never have that in a real race.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Can he serve it right now, or does he have to come back
Yeah,
around?
He has to serve it.
He has to.
Oh, okay, I thought that you had to come back around, come back
That's
in.
on exiting. If you speed on exit, you have to come back in.
So, my pick, Mr. Brian Dees in the Avengers versus X-Men car, currently out front. Jason Raymond. Yes!
Okay, here we go again. He's gonna continue to do that, and
But Rick
that's-
Thompson's coming. He's coming.
we got two. Tanner has two favorite sayings. He every time he sees it, he says that beautiful Chevy Silverado pace truck, and
Bro.
apparently I can't even do it right. His new way of saying yes is his
Say
second
it.
saying.
Say it, bro.
Yes.
I can't.
There we go. Mark said it. Yes! You gotta be really obnoxious when you say it.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
You two are
Yes,
pretty
bro.
obnoxious, so it's probably easy
Yeah,
for you guys.
yes, bro. I don't say bro nearly as much though on the
thank
broadcast.
'Cause that's more annoying than anything.
I don't even know when I say it. Well, I could say like dog or something, you know, dog.
You could say the one that I really hate.
What,
So, not gonna get me to say that one.
bruh?
The GD, man.
Oh no.
At least you don't say that.
Oh yeah. We're on two different ends of the spectrum right there, Mark.
You know what?
We went from bro to
Talking about
cuss
annoying
words. We
Talking
went
about
from.
annoying words, man.
What about? All right. I mean, we got 19 laps to go. We'll get back on track here in a second. How do y'all feel about the word moist? Does moist bother y'all?
Love it. Love it.
I mean, it don't bother me. Raymond, does it bother you?
No.
Moist.
How
Hey.
can you eat cake if you don't have the word moist?
I mean, right. I don't know about y'all.
The
Let me know in
only
the.
good kind of cake is moist cake. You don't want a wet cake.
And I love moist pie, but that's neither here nor there.
You don't want a damp cake.
Okay, can we stop
don't
talking
want a
about
dry
food,
cake.
man? I'm getting hungry now.
Oh, we were talking about food. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought we were talking about
cake
something
and-
else. Oh, my bad.
Talking about cake. Oh yeah, that's a different terminology now, right? Cake.
That's 17. Brian Dees is out front. Got the 76 of Rick Thompson right there behind him. Rick, if you go back and watch this, it's all Mark's fault. I do apologize. 17's actually loose right now, guys. He was actually really loose right then, bro.
Rick, if you're gonna go back and watch this, I'm gonna need another $20 for my services tonight.
I've always wanted to prove you never come up and join me in the booth. Well, typically we hear like brum, brum, and beeping all behind you. I'm just
like
The truck.
there it goes. Mark's favorite saying is, "We're in the middle of a race, guys. I mean, we're hunkered down. Nobody's speaking. You hear just Mark's background noise is going crazy, and it's his seatbelt thing. And he says, "This truck don't tell me what to do."
That probably made us all wreck at least twice hearing that. 'Cause you go from dead silent and focused to hearing that, and it's just you just lose
say,
it.
Mark, turn. What is that beeping? It says my seatbelt thing. Put your seatbelt on. This truck don't tell me what to do.
As we got Scotty Stevens in the chat saying he wants to see Kilro's speed compared to the leader.
Kilro, that last time around, went with a 32 flat exactly to Brian Deese's
second and a half, right?
33.14. So a little bit of almost a second and 2/10 almost. So close.
Yeah.
So
Scotty Stevens exaggerated it and said looks like 3 seconds a lap.
It probably does in the eye test though. So look, we'll look whenever Brian Dees will have to catch you whenever he goes to the start finish line, and we'll compare where Dalton's at. Dalton right now is 19 seconds behind, but that delta.
Tanner, click
what?
the last lap
On
your ticker. It'll show the last lap speeds of each car.
right there, huh?
Oh, okay. Now that's there we go. Thanks, Mark.
What else they got on here?
Manufacturer.
Best time, lap time. What I have it on?
Best
Gap.
lap.
What was it
Yeah,
on though? Gap. All
It
right.
was on Gap.
Yeah, it'll get. But you
Uh,
have best lap, you have last lap, and your manufacturer.
All right. So as you guys talk about that, I'm just looking, and it looks like Rick Thompson's actually starting to close back the gap onto Brian Dees here.
so the last lap around, it was a 33.11 by Rick Thompson compared to Brian Dees' 33.10. So they are right there on top of each other in terms of pace. A heartbreak though for Jamie Walker though, honestly, as Brian Dees just crossed start finish line right then. Dalton Kilrow is behind John Perkins, and just now going in 3 and 4. I just don't think the time's there, guys. As we're coming to 12 laps to go, going to be 11 to go when Brian Dees crosses the stripe.
You know, the bad thing with Jamie right there is he's probably kicking himself, right? Because he's knowing that he didn't need to do that. That he had to command and lead. He was in control of the race. He really could have been real conservative getting in there.
And been
he didn't
fine.
have to push it, and he's probably kicking himself, going, "Man, why did I push it? Why did I push it? I had such a lead. I didn't need to do that." And again, go back to it. That's the
racist
mentality that we all have is, I gotta go. And even the best one of us makes those same mistakes.
Right. And that's what I mentioned earlier. I said mistakes will come, but for people like Jamie Walker, Dalton Kilrow, you know, veterans on here, they're few and far between. They don't happen very often, but they can happen. We just saw that. Jamie Walker had
I never make mistakes.
That's right. I mean, so I've heard, but as we are now with a 10 to go, and it's all Brian Dees out front, going to try to pitch it back to back with the wins. But we're going to see if the 76 machine can have something to say against that. Both these guys are up 12 spots. Brad Collins, he elected to not take tires on lap 50 like Corey Sherman. Brad Collins has worked his way up to 4th. Corey Sherman's up to the 5th place spot, but Brad is currently our biggest mover, up 16 spots from when they hit the grid.
And he's looking to apply the pressure here for 3rd place. He's rolling that outside, and I'm assuming he does have the freshest tires from one.
He does indeed.
Strategy.
He does indeed. As you see Corey Sherman back there behind him on the same strategy, and I'm not sure what kind of noise we heard from Mark's mic. It was either a horn.
Rumble strips, man. Who's got the best tires right now? Oh, and the walls. Brad Collins.
Yes, Brad Collins right now, who's currently sitting in the 3rd place spot, trying to get him up here in the interview room. But Corey Sherman's also coming. We got 9 laps to go, boys.
Definitely know that. I don't think without a caution, Dalton definitely does not have the time to get back.
No, he's actually not even gaining time on D's. We just saw it right then. Brian D was at start finish line. Last time we did that, Dalton was getting in turn 3. That time around, Brian D was at start finish line. Dalton was just getting in 3 again. So he's not even gaining time. The gap was 15 seconds a while ago. It's 14 seconds now.
And it could have been like just what I said, like they pit, 15 laps ago or 10, 15 laps ago. And, you know,
As we apologize, Mark sounds like R2D2 right now. Jason, your pick fed on pit road. Why are you such bad juju for these drivers?
Dalton.
I don't know, man. It's seems like every series I help you broadcast, I am bad luck. Besides, I have guessed the winner maybe twice, but that doesn't compare to the many broadcasts I've done with you. So I might have to stop picking winners.
Jason's like, I pick the winner every time they're coming to the white flag.
No, I'm bad luck. I might have to stop picking winners. I might leave that one all to you.
As Rick Thompson is falling back off of Brian Dees now, just a little bit, almost 7/10. So Brian Dees may go back to back. And Mark, I'm not sure if you're still lagging or not, but you cut out in your last. Yeah, there you go.
I'm back. Yeah, Jason, pick Brian Dees real quick and make this thing interesting.
I don't think it works that way. It's I missed the cue when he asked me a while ago. Oh, Rick Thompson just skates it off of turn 4 and taps the wall with the right rear.
Is Rick Thompson on the lead laps? He in second?
Yeah, Rick Thompson second, Brad Collins is third. So the ones that played the tire
Looks like
strategy,
he might be catching Dees.
it's been back and forth. That's what's crazy. So that time around, I changed it off the lap. But that time around, they were both 33-30s. So like it's going back and forth. There's one lap where Rick Thompson is almost a tenth to a tenth and a half faster, and then the very next lap, they're about the same. As Rick Thompson actually is about to get some pressure from Van Fleet. That's the car you said you liked right there, 89.
From
But
position?
nope, Van Fleet's a lap down. The next car for position is Brad Collins, who's sitting in third place right now. So the guys
Van
that
Vliet-
play that
is,
strategy, Mark, are up front
yeah.
now. They're the ones
Right.
up front because of the caution.
If Van Vliet is a gentleman here, he'll kind of sit behind Rick and just watch the show as Rick gets into the wall. But
Welcome
if
to the
he's like
broadcast
like
booth.
that, I just sit behind him and just kind of watch that show and let him see if he can catch him.
Right, absolutely. Because he has nothing to gain.
Also,
Right.
Too bad. Right.
Exactly. But welcome to the broadcast booth. Whatever you think, whatever you say is about to happen, the exact opposite will always happen. Every time. It never fails. Right or wrong, Jason, are you alive?
I am alive. I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat. I'm kind of confused. Scotty Stevens said, "Glad I heard that, Mark. He called my win." So I'm not sure who he's talking about calling what win. But if he's talking about the Summer Clash
Phoenix
one,
race.
I called that right. So there we go. There's one example of me doing something right.
As we're now 2 laps to go. Jason, you've been quiet for the last 30 minutes. I want you to call the finish of this race.
All right. Well, I mean, we got Brian Dees out front all by himself as we saw Rick Thompson get into the wall a little bit. He fell back to about 2.6 seconds behind. So as long as Brian Dees doesn't make a huge mistake and get into the wall or spin, he's just kind of setting sail as he's coming into turn 4, coming to take the white flag with one more to go here at Kansas. As white flag is out right there, and like I said, he's kind of just gonna roll here, not try to push it too hard. He's got a huge gap, so if I was him, I would just kind of settle in and down the back stretch out of turn 2 for the last time. He's got a lapped car behind him, but
It's smooth sailing from this point. Yeah.
He's just sailing. He's high side coming out of turn 4 here for the final time. Started 13th on the grid tonight, worked his way to the front. Your winner of tonight's Kansas, I forgot what the name of it is.
Rim Rider 150. Rim Rider 150, the American Sim Racing League Series. He went back-to-back here tonight, folks. That's at number 17, the Soul Stealer, Brian Dees. Rick Thompson brought it home in P2 with Brad Collins, and P3, Corey Sherman. One spot short of the podium, but still a very solid finish. He brought it home in 4th place spot with last season's champion, 41, Daddy-O's Dalton Kilroy Machine. He rounded out our top 5. As we're going to see Brian Dees right here burn it down real quick. I just not seen your message about Brian Dees and Rick Thompson's pit. They pitted on lap 123, Jason, if it matters now.
It does not. It is all good. It's all right.
As you see here, Brian Dees burning it down back to back. I'm saying he's looking as if he's getting pretty good at these burnouts. Got good practice last week at Charlotte, this week at Kansas. But folks, you know, we're switching it up. We had 2 cookie cutter tracks going to Martinsville next week. I'm pretty excited about that. Mark, I'm gonna give you the honors. You're gonna interview Brad Collins. Sound good? You want to do it? All right, thank you. Give me one second.
I don't want to interview anybody. You guys can do all the interviews since
All
I'm
right.
driving and
All
stuff.
right.
I really can't.
All right, bye, Felicia. Just wait a second. All right, hold on. We got Brad Collins up in the booth. Brad, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
So, Brad, we spoke to you a little bit earlier, and you played a little strategy when it came to the tires at the lap 50 caution or lap 50 stage break. Then a timely caution came for you that ended up paying off, gave you 3rd place finish. Talk me through your race.
Yeah, I was able to get extremely good mileage on my tires. I mean, like I said, I only had 60% when I went and took my first set. So all I needed to do was keep it going, a couple more laps, and I think I'd have been there.
I mean, you were definitely one of the fastest cars. So that last lap around, you actually was the fastest car on the track. So if the laps were there, I think you may have had something for either Brian Dees or Rick Thompson. But still, nonetheless, a 3rd place finish. Very, very strong showing here tonight. We head to Martinsville next week. How you like your chances going to a short track like that?
Well, that's one place I'm not real good at, some short tracks. So hopefully I can just stay out of everybody's way.
Oh, man. We'll see that 22 up front. I'm sure you're just being bashful.
I'm sure I'm not.
That's Brad Collins, driver number 22, Fish'em.net, Speed Mafia machine. I just mentioned 2 of your sponsors right then, Brad. Who else you got to thank to make that 22 so fast?
Well, actually, I'd like to thank y'all for doing all the broadcasts and everything. And of course, ASRL and Speed Mafia, as always. I was sitting there talking to Rick, and all he was going is, "Dang, you're getting closer." And I said, "I am." But if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. It wouldn't be as fun without y'all sitting here and talking with us and everything. So I appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Well, we thank you for those compliments, Brad, and maybe we'll be talking to you next week at Martinsville. Maybe you, I have a feeling you're just being a little bashful. I think that 22 is going to be fast again next week.
We'll see if I can surprise myself.
Right on, Brad. Congratulations on your podium finish tonight, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, that was the driver number 22. Now it's time for the driver number 76, the main man behind the scenes, Mr. Rick Thompson. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Tanner.
So, Rick, we spoke before we went to the grid. You qualified in 14th. You did not sound very happy about the qualifying effort, but still, you ended up fighting through it. You preserved the tires just well enough to be there at the end when it counted most. Talk me through your race, your P2 finish.
Yeah, qualifying, I ended up scraping the wall on the first lap, scrubbed so much speed that, the second lap was only when that would get a timed one. And ended up starting, like I said, not really where I wanted to be, but took care of the car and kind of just played out the normal strategy and got lucky there with a couple guys speeding in the pits. And I was all over Brian's butt for a while there, and he was usually getting loose towards the end. And so I was just trying so hard to stay right up on top of him to kind of put some pressure on him that I ended up burning my own stuff up by doing it. So I ended up letting him get away from me. But I'm happy with the second.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a stacked field in here. I mean, I don't know if people realize at home or not. If they was to get out here and race some of these guys and officials, they would find out pretty quick just how fast these guys are. So basically, I'm saying all that to get to the point of, Rick, you brought it home in P2 tonight. I'm going to ask you basically what I asked Brad. We've been to 2.5-mile tracks back to back. We're going to Martinsville next week. We saw Martinsville last week in the NASCAR series. How do you like your chances going to a short track like that?
Actually, I love Martinsville. It's one of my favorite tracks, and so I'm really looking forward to getting there. I like that, I just like flat tracks and I like small tracks. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm interested to see how well I do. I'm hoping I'll be as fast as I think I will. I
think you'll be just fine, Rick. I've turned many laps with you, buddy. Whether it's on a super speedway, 1.5-mile short track, that 76 always seems to find itself up front. Rick, who do you got to thank for that 76 here tonight?
Well, just want to thank my teammates who helped run me through. Thank my dad who couldn't make it tonight. He wasn't feeling so well, so shout out to him. Hopefully he feels better. Also want to give a shout out to Casey Campbell who couldn't make it out tonight. He had to work, but hopefully he'll be back next week. Thank you to you guys for obviously broadcasting. I really appreciate you guys come on, and I know you guys run a good show. And thanks to Mark for helping us out with the setups.
Oh,
and
don't
stuff.
thank him. Don't thank him.
Yeah, you owe me $20, Rick.
Well, checks in the mail.
Tanner pulled me up in the booth, slave labor. My rates ain't cheap.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate that since I know you're out there on the road.
I am.
Yeah, he's a danger to society out there. But for real, Rick, congratulations on the P2 finish tonight. Started 14th, finished one spot short, but still nonetheless a great finish. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to that 76 at some point next week at Martinsville.
Yeah, I hope so. Appreciate it, man. You guys
Yes.
have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. All right, folks. That was Rick Thompson in the 76. I meant to ask him about finding Nemo in his car. Crap, I forgot it. All right, Jason Ramon, the floor is yours. You have the race winner, number 17, Soul Stealer, Brian Dees.
Brian, this is Jason in the Five Kings booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, but I'm pretty sure it's going better for you. We saw you started 13th. I wasn't here last week, but you won last week. You picked up the win here again tonight, and great start to the season here. What was how? Take me through your race.
Well, you mentioned qualified 13th. I messed up both ends of the track in qualifying. Just didn't get the right line and didn't really think it was going to go all that well tonight, to be honest. Towards the end, kind of was able to save tires a little bit. Kind of figured it out. And then, I mean, I'd love to say, earn this win and all that, but I kind of get the feeling on the other side that it was kind of handed to me. Jamie, that last stop just took off and he was gone after that caution, so it definitely should have been his.
I think you may have slipped Barney Fife Jr. in a flag stand a couple 20s to give Jamie that speeding penalty right there, and Brian. Or threatened to steal his soul or something.
I stole Dalton's last week to get the win, so found Jamie's laying around today.
But seriously though, I'm gonna butt in here. You won the first two races on mile and a half. So I know you're super fast everywhere you line up at. How do you like looking forward to next week going to Martinsville?
Actually gonna miss next week.
Oh, Brian, come on.
I know. It was already in a plan. I'm gonna be out of town.
Take your rig. I've done it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I also wasn't expecting it at all to win the first two races of the season here. So, I don't know. We might have to figure something out.
So my fiance Emily will end up watching this back, and she'll hear me say that I wanted to take my rig before. I didn't actually do it. I wanted to. But you should have saw her face whenever I said I wanted to take my rig. But man, you gotta have some, in the words of Terry, some loyalty or whatever he said that night.
Loyalty.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. But anyways, Brian, seriously though, congratulations, back-to-back races, victory lane. It gets no better than that. Wish we'd have you next week, but the week following that, maybe we'll be talking to you again, buddy.
I sure hope so. Hopefully nobody finds where I got that horseshoe stuck somewhere,
Right. And before we close up shop, Brian, let me hear those sponsors that make the 17 so fast, not only tonight, but each and every week.
Gotta thank Michael Falk at MF Racing Designs. Just came about this week. I'm an official MFRD guy, so that's pretty cool. Got a sponsorship from him.
Love to hear that.
Sponsorship from him. So, yeah, that's definitely pretty cool. So yeah, if you need a paint, definitely look him up on Facebook. He, in my opinion, the best in the business. So
it's no better.
Yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly.
I can Butt in real quick. I'm the third to say that. I agree. Best in the business for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Also got to thank Rick Thompson for putting this league on. Really, all the guys at Speed Mafia, I know they all kind of help out. So definitely a fun league. And got to thank Mark for the setup.
Thank him. Man, I told Rick the same thing. Don't thank him. He gets a bigger
Hey, man.
head. He can't afford any much bigger of a head. He had to buy a bigger shirt.
He'll figure it out.
Hey,
Bigger headset.
Tanner, if they don't thank me, they'll be really slow next week. Slow next week.
Right, exactly.
And all seriousness, though, Brad, congratulations on your win. Or Brian, I'm sorry. I apologize. In all seriousness, congratulations on win number 2 of the season. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Appreciate it, guys, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting this for us. I watch the broadcast back every week, and you guys do an awesome job.
Well, thank you for that. I wish it was better, but it's what we are right now. So thank you for the compliments, though, Brian.
Don't never that this week. We couldn't get Raymond to shut up.
Yeah, he wouldn't ever quit talking.
They say that. You just wait till you watch it. You'll see what really happened. I couldn't talk, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, turn down the volume or something then. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, guys. Brian, congratulations, buddy. That is race win number 2 of a 2-race season thus far. We're going to close up shop here tonight. We talked to the top 3 as Mark has a ticking time bomb going off in the behind him. Brian Dees in P1. Rick Thompson brought home in 2nd place. Brad Collins in 3rd. Corey Sherman brought home in 4th. And Dalton Kilroe, Captain Sables from Fuel, rounded our top 5 finishers here tonight. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. Me and Jason Ramon will be back in the booth tomorrow, going live at 8 p.m. Central for the Apex Sim Racing Truck Series. Thank y'all for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see ya.